Hi Falcons, it's Mrs. Walton, and I'm here to read to you this week's Read Aloud. And since it's still Black History Month, I wanted to pick a really fun book. I picked a book called Swish, and it's the slam-dunking, alley-ooping, high-flying Harlem Globetrotters. And I was so excited to find this book because when I was probably in 4th or 5th grade, my dad took my sisters and brother and I to see the Harlem Globetrotters. And it was so much fun and so cool. So this is a book about them. And it's written by Suzanne, Slade, and Dawn Tate. I'm actually going to remove the cover because it gets stuck when I'm reading to you. So, the Harlem Swish. Well, it's not on there now, but it all started with those boys, thump-thumping basketballs up and down Chicago's South Side, in alleys, driveways, and parking lots. Raw talent and determination in worn-out sneakers, practicing non-stop layups, all-net free throws, and sky-high jump shots. When their team charged into Wendell Phillips High wearing those official school jerseys, every student grew an inch taller with pride. Their players were unstoppable, division champs. Everyone could see that they had as much talent as the county's best hoopsters. But the top teams only recruited white players, so after graduation, those Wendell Phillips stars joined traveling teams for black players. Before long, a few players met a small man with a big dream, Abe Saperstein, who helped them form their own team, the Harlem Globetrotters. The name sounded grand, like they'd played all over the world. Well, not quite, but they barnstormed their way across America. Little Abe and 5 giant players, Toots Wright, Kid Oliver, Fat Long, Runt Pullins, and Andy Washington. And there they picked the name, the New York Harlem Globetrotters. They squeezed into an old Model T and chugged from town to town, searching for anyone who would play. Farmers, students, lumberjacks, and people who would pay to watch. 7 nights a week, the road-weary team played ball, healthy, sick, or injured, and won nearly every game. But hometown fans didn't like out-of-town hotshots skunking their team. Soon, the Trotters came up with a plan. Smack in the middle of the game, each player performed a ball handling trick while the others took a short rest. Crowds howled with delight at the surprising sights. One-finger ball spinning, rapid-fire mini dribbling, and a ricochet headshot. Suddenly, people didn't mind when the hilarious Trotters beat their team. The Globetrotters played wherever they could. Barns, basements, even the bottom of a dried-up swimming pool. The crowds laughed and cheered, but as soon as the game ended, the cheers stopped. The tired, hungry players weren't always welcome in hotels or restaurants. They couldn't even use most gas station restrooms or phones. Nearly every drinking fountain had a whites-only sign. Downhearted yet determined, a new fire fueled their game. The Trotters would prove that all players, all people, deserve to be treated the same. With their fancy footwork, fast passes, and one-handed dunk shots, they played the most breathtaking, groundbreaking ball the country had ever seen. Years bounced by. Older players retired. New ones stepped in. Goose Tatum, the clown prince, who rolled that ball across 84 inches of steel-strong arms. Marquez Haynes, a dazzling, dizzying dribbler with lightning-fast hands. Boyd Bowie, a spectacular sharpshooter who had only one arm. With their slapstick tricks and pinpoint shots, the Trotters game became known as the Show. They made the game look so easy, people didn't even notice their incredible talent. But this team was more than a show. They were skilled athletes, expert players, and electrifying performers, all rolled into one, professionals at the game. But the professional basketball teams didn't allow black players. Determined to make people see their talent instead of their skin color, the Globetrotters challenged the best team in the National Basketball League, the mighty Minnesota Lakers. What? You could almost hear the nation gasp. A pro team play those high-flying showboats? How ridiculous! Yet the Lakers agreed. They couldn't wait to trounce the Trotters. Shivering fans lined up outside Chicago Stadium in the middle of night darkness on February 19th, 1948. People across the nation slapped down sure bets, easy money. No way the Lakers could lose. They had a 6'10" giant, George McCon. Surrounded by a raucous, record-breaking crowd, the Globetrotters jogged out in comical striped shorts, but they left their tricks behind. Tonight was straight-up serious ball. Right from the start, Goose stuck to McCon like gum on a shoe. Yet McCon quickly scored 18 points and blocked every shot Goose put up. By halftime, the Lakers were ahead, but the Globetrotters fought back and tied the game. Right before the end of game buzzer, the Trotters sent one last shot soaring towards the net. Swish! Globetrotters win 61-59. Without saying a word, the Trotters showed the world that players with different skin colors belonged on the same court. The Lakers demanded a rematch. The win was a fluke. A year later, the teams faced off again, and the Trotters won again. Now, the most popular team in America, the Globetrotters played to sold-out stadiums and signed a Hollywood movie contract. Meanwhile, the NBA teams were barely selling enough tickets to pay the bills. Frustrated team owners gathered to pick next season's recruits. One by one, they carefully considered each athlete's talent, and suddenly their whites-only rule seemed ridiculous. Then, something incredible happened. The Celtics owner announced an astounding choice. Chuck Cooper, one of the most remarkable players he'd ever seen, and one of the Globetrotters' newest recruits. Soon, another owner declared his top picks, 2 more phenomenal black players. And the game was never the same. It became non-stop, give it all you got, out to win it, sky's the limit, basketball. After breaking into the NBA, the Globetrotters broke out into the world. They played in a dusty bull ring in Peru, a cow pasture in New Zealand, and on a court built over barrels in Germany. The crowds were astonished by their slam dunks, alley-oops, and high-flying surprises. They made thousands of new friends, met popes, princes, and presidents, and even sipped tea with the Queen of England. They shared their joy, laughter, and warm friendship with nations around the world, even the ones who weren't friends with the United States. Back home, the Harlem Globetrotters were named America's Ambassadors of Goodwill. How about that? The team that brought black and white America close together brought the world a little closer together too, and lived up to their Globetrotter name after all. And in the back here, this has, when we're back in school, you can even check this book out. It has lots of really cool information about the Globetrotters and pictures and really cool dates. So Globetrotters are still traveling around the world today, playing some really fun, amazing basketball. I hope you get to see them someday. All right, Falcons, I will be back next week to read to you. In the meantime, keep reading. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.